Welcome back, welcome back. I'm MTG Joe. Today it's the weekend event, the Zendikar Landfall Planecation. So this is the last of the events, I believe, and it will reward us with a unhinged basic, so the last one in the set, the unhinged planes. So similar to the other events, there's usually a theme or like an emblem or a certain deck restriction. So this particular one is around the landfall mechanic. So whenever a land enters the battlefield under our control, an effect comes into play. So what the emblem is basically doing is either if a land comes into play, the top card of your library is a land, you get to put it into play. If it's a creature, you put it at the bottom of your library, and you get a 1/1 green token. So what's likely going to happen... And each opponent loses if it's a non-land, then they take damage and you gain life. So there's three kind of effects there. So what's likely going to happen is we're going to run into a lot of Scapeshift decks, to be honest, or like Field of the Dead decks. This just kind of over-accelerates ramp. So I don't want to go with the like field decks just right away. I usually like to try to brew, kind of have some fun decks. So what I thought we'd play is a variation on my blue-white Blink deck. Mainly because Deputy of Detention should be really good in this format, and we want to play it as many times as possible. So my blue-white Blink deck was basically leveraging a whole bunch of enter the battlefield effects, getting it underneath a Lumbering Battlement, and then being able to blink it with either Justiciar's Portal or Siren's Ruse to get those creatures to continually re-enter. There is an infinite mill combo in the deck. If you get 2 Lumbering Battlements and a Spark Double, or 3 Lumbering Battlements, they basically create an exile loop by chaining the exiles. If you get a Wall of Lost Thoughts under there, it mills out the opponent. You can also gain infinite mana, infinite life and card draw to draw out your deck. So there's a few things you can do there. So what I'm just tweaking with this particular build here is just a minor splash of red. And I'm going to play Thud in the deck. So this is kind of a jankier alternative. Because you're getting a lot of 1/1 tokens with our heavily creature-based deck, we can exile those under a Lumbering Battlement, and for each token that gets exiled under it, we get an extra 2/2 power, which then we can throw at the opponent with a Thud. There's also a Deputy of Detention, so we can exile zombies, we can exile their tokens, and what we can do is either bounce with Teferi's Time Raveler back to hand to reset it, any of our Blink effects, or Lumbering Battlement. We can also copy it with Spark Doubles, so there's a lot of options there. The rest of the creatures in the deck, Fblthp is just card draw. Wall of Lost Thoughts is the mill. I cut down to 2 since we have the Thuds added in. Militia Bugler is card advantage in our deck. Can pretty much get every creature in the deck with exception of the Battlement. Exclusion Mage is tempo play. Sailor Means is ramp, so it takes us from 3 to 5 mana. It can also fix our mana for the Thuds. And then Guardmage is life gain and card draw, and Spark Double is basically any of these enter the battlefield effects as need be. The mana base itself is pretty much just all your blue-white duels and then a couple of red duels and the Scrylines to smooth out the draw itself. The sideboard you don't really need to worry about in this format, it's best of 1, but I just tweaked my existing deck list there. So let's run it through some of the events and see. If it turns out to be all Scapeshift, I'm just going to play myself like my Arc Field deck in the format. But we'll see. There's usually there's either people who go crazy hard at it, or there's people who embrace the jank. So for those of you new to the channel, I'm MTG Joe. I usually get out almost a video a day up on my YouTube channel, streaming a bit more on Twitch. I focus mainly on fun decks, budget decks, but I do play pretty much all the tier decks as well. If you ever have a suggestion for what you'd like to see, drop a comment. And the easiest way to kind of find out when I'm going live, anything like that, is either subscribing on YouTube or following on Twitch. Both are free, both are easy ways to help support the channel. We're also closing in on 1,000 subs. Once we reach that mark, we'll be doing a giveaway. It's kind of a major mark for YouTube streaming at least, so I want to say thanks. We're about 80 or so off. Okay, so we basically ping the opponent. I'm going to do this now. It's a blocker on 2. So there's also probably a high likelihood we're going to be running into a lot of the Cavalcade decks in this format. Yeah, so this is Cavalcade red. So I'll pay 2 life here. Oh, does it go to hand? Oh, put it in our hand. So just mill the opponent. It's actually a pretty good mill. Cavalcade to get rid of that with Scorch Spitter is pretty good. Okay, so they do have a Cavalcade, that's pretty bad. Taking 3 damage plus the damage there. Come on, Mos. Doesn't really matter where we block here. Okay, so Deputy into Deputy is pretty solid. Okay, so we got a token, that's a good blocker. I'm just gonna reset there. I think we do the tokens on this one since they can still get the triggers, and I don't think they'll want to attack in the Scorch Splitter. Okay, so they'll get a token there. We can always put one, like the Cavalcade under a Deputy. If they cast more of the same creatures, we can do that. Might next turn just drop the land and play an Exclusion Mage on the Scorch Splitter. Set them back a bit. This deck basically just gets free value here. Okay, so that usually signifies a light up the stage. They will have the land and lightning strike. Okay, so that's some pretty decent targets. So let's see what we get here first. So they just lightning strike it, and they get back their Scorch Splitters, but it's basically fogs them for a turn. But I think we wait one more turn. Just set them back. So we'll just bounce one to the hand. Just gonna poke him for 1. We got enough blockers on the backside. The reason we did that is they can play this again and we can get under the Deputy. I want them to use the Lightning Strike this turn. They're kind of priced into using it. So then I can get rid of probably their creatures here. So they just go face. Portal's actually pretty nice here. So I was hoping for another land. Just attacking with everything. So we might be able to just kind of control the game out from here. Okay, so they spend that. That's fine, because I can portal and exile again. Okay, so we get another blocker here. So I'm going to go Bugler. See what we get. I want the Guardmage. Gains us some life. So I think we attack in with everything. And then just stop before their attack step. We'll blink. So the reason we're going with Portal as opposed to something like Teferi's Time Twist is this comes back into play immediately, where Time's Twist only comes in at the end of turn. Okay, so I'm just going to do this now. It also gains First Strike, where in a normal combat situation you can surprise block sometimes. just reset the Scorch Splitters. Opponent gives us GG. Let's see what they got. If they attack in, but we pretty much got them dead on the crackback. Why is my mouse not working? So I don't want to block with the Deputy in case they have a Shock as the last card in hand. Everything. I'm just going to do the Guardmage to gain us some life. Do they... no sense of taking the damage here. So I think we got this. Thanks for the no quantum. Yeah, my mouse usually works fine. It's a little bit older of a mouse. But I guess it's just you gotta click right in the center. Ping us for 1. And just smash in with everything. Alright, 1 down. We managed to stave off. And that's just where you see like the power of Deputy of Detention in these builds. Claim our prize, 1000 XP, get a pack, hoping for, kind of make some builds around Bishop of Wings. Don't really want the Buccaneer. Oh. So, usually play out a couple games with the deck. I'll switch probably after the next win. We'll play just a couple variations of decks, see what works. Nisa's Ramp also is probably a good option here. Yeah, we'll keep. Deputy kind of resets the board. This also smooths out our land drops. Also just being on the play, it gives us a little bit more of aggressive starts. Probably play Cavalcade too after this. It seems like one of the easier decks to build. Okay, so this can be Scape Shift, this can be Gates. Teferi's not bad either. Opponent's probably thinking what the hell we're playing. So this is field deck. Oh, it's, yeah, so Scape Shift. I'm gonna hold off showing. Yeah, I guess they can't beat it. Teferi. It's a slower start for the opponent too. We got the land there. These are actually some pretty nice lands from Maraudin, I think. It's the doubling cube art. We'll run this one back one more since that game was pretty quick. And then we'll take it from there. Yeah, I'll keep this hand. This gets us to 5 mana, Teferi as tempo, Deputy to clean up if it's aggressive. Gonna go on the scry. Okay, so this is ramp of some sort. Yeah. So if this is Scape Shift, this is a lot faster. The scry lines actually seem pretty good if you want to set up your draws. Okay, so I don't want any more lands. So let's get rid of those. Gotta discard a card. Just go steam vents here. Hydroid Crisis at the bottom is probably good for us. We are falling very far behind. Yeah. I don't think we win this one. So this can still just be Bant, and now it's Escape Shift. I don't think Bant Ramp plays Circuitous Route. So getting trucked by... Yeah, this is a field deck. Escape Shift. Welcome to those tuning in. We are playing... I'm going to block here, and then I'm going to Deputy away these tokens. We are playing a blue-white Blink deck. With a little splash of red for Lumbering Battlement Thud interactions. I'm basically trying to play as many Deputy of Detentions as possible in this format. We're 2-0 so far with it. We took down Mono Red Cavalcade and got a turn 2-3 concede against Scape Shift. This is obviously a much faster Scape Shift draw. They're already at 8 mana and they have field going. So I'm gonna save a Deputy turn. I'm probably gonna go Sailor Means and Fblthp next turn. Actually, I'm gonna go probably. They run the risk of drawing out their deck, which is actually not too bad. So let's go Teferi. I'm gonna bounce this.
Thank me later.
I kind of want them to draw as many cards out of their deck as possible. We got the Thud to go with it too, so if we can start getting... Alright, that's like the least impactful. No attacks. I can double block here. This makes the Deputies a lot better. Okay, so we're just going with the zombie plan. Actually not bad. If they overextend with zombies, we should be able to just clean that up. Because they run the risk after doing it with like this variation versus like Yarrick Field. They go bigger, but they usually have like a one and done type approach. So let's set ourselves up first. Let's see what we get from the land. The Lumbering Battlement, kind of wanted that.
That's more like it.
I'm gonna go Militia Bugler. Let's go Guardmage and just pass the turn. So even if they have Teferi, I can bounce this to reset. The zombies, they'll likely be inclined to attack us directly since they present lethal. So I gotta do this now before Teferi comes down. So we get rid of all their zombies. They'll be able to make 3 more.
Let's slow this down. No, I am not making this up.
That's actually a pretty good tempo play for us. It just draws us deeper. Prison Realm gets rid of Deputy. Okay, not bad. But Teferi Uptick can eventually deal with that. We can block them. Got 34 cards in library. So I just want to create. So I got the Crisis 4. I need to keep Teferi alive, I think. Just try and drag out the game a bit longer. Battlement, no board isn't that great.
I'll protect you.
So I can take a turn to try to dig deeper. Guardmage gains me some life. But I think we just try to set up our board as much as possible. This makes token. We can go Bugler. Draws us a little deeper, but I think I want to try to hit a land drop here. Cool. Get another land. So I have Portal, which doesn't do much. So I'm just going to let them attack in, kill Teferi here if they choose to do that. So they're going to get a bunch of zombies. The Prison Realm's actually been pretty effective. They are somewhat priced into attacking Teferi. So we can go, next turn we'll have 4, 6, 7, so 1, 6, 7, 8 mana. Resolve all. So 8 mana. We can go Lumbering. We can't kill him yet.
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
So I'm just gonna block here, let Teferi die.
I really should have seen that.
So this turn we gotta think about how we wanna progress. So Siren's Ruse doesn't really do much. I think we need to dig for a Deputy. It's kind of our only chance. So I'm gonna go Militia Bugler first. It gets us a little bit further down. Yep. So I'm gonna do this a little cheeky. So we get rid of this. This gives us another blocker. Get rid of these. Gonna go to attackers. Actually, I can't really kill Teferi. So no attackers. I am gonna bounce the Deputy and then exile the Hydroid Crisis. They do have Blast Zone in hand, so I need to be mindful of that. It does wipe most of our board, but I'm gonna just set up the Lumbering Battlement Thud next turn. I don't know if you have enough lines left in the deck. Teferi was good protection, so we couldn't instant speed get around that. Alright, let's see how many zombies they get. We might be dead. Probably dead. I wonder if they... Yeah. They can also just like burn us out that way. Tokens. Yeah, if it wasn't for Teferi out. Oh, they didn't have enough unique names. Oh, that is actually really good for us.
Here we go.
So they can go Deputy.
Right on schedule.
Or Teferi, bounce Deputy, get Prison Realm.
I've got it.
Or just set up a Blast Zone there. Well, it's not too bad, but... we do have one more reset going. So let's see what we get here. Okay, so... go Lumbering Battlement. So this one I'm not going to do the plant. I'll do it for the next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 12 power. So not quite enough. This also lets us get a ton of value. So first in, last out. So exile the zombies. I'm just gonna do this. I think this sequencing might have been off. Get a land. Get another deputy. And no thud yet. Yeah, no attacks. Yes, this deck's one of those, it's easier on paper when you stack everything, but the opponent's now gotten like probably 50 plus zombies that we've just dealt with the same kind of deputies. Field of the Dead decks are... Oh, we need to be mindful of our life total. If they have one more land...
I've got time.
I gotta do Guardmage this turn. We're at 1 life. So I can deputy this. Draw 2 cards. Okay, so we're still technically dead if they hit a land. Oh, but yeah, they would escape shift for all the lands. I think they're just creating blockers now. Okay, I'm gonna do the safe play first, gain some life. Let's go land, another creature. I gotta still chip at their life total. So here... doesn't make much of a difference. Let's just go face. The thing is they just block with that. We are somewhat flooding. We don't have enough under this anyways. So blink effect's really good here. It resets our board. Field of the Dead's, or Blast Zone's actually pretty solid for them this play. Them making enough creatures. Okay, Militia Bugler's not bad. Let's Militia Bugler first, see what we draw. So they set the Blast Zone on 3. It's good to know. They'll also have Prison Realm. Elite Guardmage, also nice. Why did tap? Oh, we still have the red mana here. More lions is not what we need right now. I don't think they have lands at this point. That's fine. Well, Lost Thoughts doesn't do anything. If they want to block the battlement with a lot of things, it's fine. Just end the turn. We're in a pretty good spot. they did gain a ton of life. There are 15 cards in library. King us for 1. See what Prison Realm gets rid of. That's actually really good for us because they put the Blast Zone on 3, so that kills it and we get Deputy back. I am perfectly fine with that. Same idea.
Might be a bad idea.
You're resetting our board for like our bounce effects. Not quite sure. Oh, they put it on 4? Oh, they might have. Okay, so you block here, block here. Take 2. Get rid of the other zombies. Boreal Grazer. Ooh, we got the portal. Let's see what we can do here. Cool. Opponents had enough. So we would have gotten rid of this, gotten rid of that, exiled all their zombies, blinked their thing, and then thudded them to death. Alright. Let's play... I'll show the Cavalcade deck, since it's going to be one that's going to be quite popular. So this is your pretty much stock mono red Cavalcade. I usually play Frenzies in mine. I usually like the card advantage that gives. We'll see how it goes in this version. You're basically playing a lot of 1-drops, trying to get Cavalcade and going off like that. I'll play probably a game of this one, and then do you want to see any field decks, or are you tired of seeing all these scape shift variants and everything like that? We'll have chat decide. We can play Elementals. I have Mirror March Elementals. That's a fun deck. Can do like Just Guys Super Friends. So that's just going to be grindy. We will... we keep. Oh, I hit Mulligan by accident. Oops. I'm going to put the shock away. That was a mistake. So it's a traditional like Temur Elemental deck, but a little bit heavier on ramp. So you try to get Mirror March out, which makes a copy. You do like you flip a coin. If you win the coin flip, you get a copy of it, and you keep flipping your coin. So you try to get a lot of Omnath in play at the same time. They all see each other when they enter, similar to Valakut. So you can like. The most Omnath I got were like 5 at a single time when I had like 8 elementals on the board, so it 40'd them. So it takes them out like 1 shot. Like I have the Golos Field of the Dead deck too, but okay, this is Feather. No blocks. Ooh, we got Cavalcade. So I'm going to save that. It's more valuable for us. So I'm going to go Chandra Spitfire. It's a bit slower, but like a 1-3 against a deck of 1-1s is very good. 10 Street. So they have been drawing more creatures as opposed to spells. So if like they don't have Reckless Rage, we're a pretty good spot. This mountain's so nice. Alright, I'll run the Elemental. Like, we saw Cavalcade in the first game. It's kind of a linear aggro deck. I like the jank more. That's fine, you can cast that. We're not going to win this game by blocking. To be honest, we're probably dead at this point. 6-4. Chandra Spitfire can block one of these. Just a lot of 3-drops in our deck. So that's one off this, one off Cavalcade, so it's Palace 6, and then 2 more here, that's plus another 6. So not quite enough to one-shot them. This is a matchup where neither of us really care what the opponent's doing, we're just trying to... yeah, we're dead. Dread Horde is gonna... not let me concede. Want to concede. Alright, Arena. They want me to just die. Come on. It's a problem with the server. Okay, 1 sec. Let me just reset the client. Yeah, Space, it's... I usually find... so we're about 37 minutes of streaming so far. I find generally once we hit around... like 45 minutes, there's a lot of memory leak in the client, and I have to reset. So where's Mirror March Elementals? So basically, you got a bunch of ramp. You can gain like a bunch of life. Llanowar Elves helps you ramp up. Trailblazer gets pretty big. You can get multiple Trailblazers with haste that each pump each other up larger. Like you get like a lot of Scampering Scorchers, and then you just try to go to Mirror March. So this is one of my... like whenever I have to do dailies, I always do this deck. It's just fun to play. You're really RNG based. The blue-white deck felt pretty strong though. It was something... like I like those kind of fringe combo decks. Like to me, that's a fair way to use Teferi. You're using it to basically bounce your own creatures for value, not just telling the opponent no, they're not allowed to play Magic. I think we're gonna mulligan this hand. Doesn't really go anywhere. Okay, I'll keep this hand. I'm gonna put back the Healer Glade. Cavalcade. Cavalcade. Oh, them putting it to the bottom is actually pretty good. And now I feel bad about putting our life gain to the bottom. We also don't have many elementals right now. Okay, so Llanowar Elf. They might feel compelled to get rid of the Llanowar Elf. The fact that even in this deck it just kind of clears out your draws. Okay, so they have a shock. I'm just gonna go Temple next turn and then drop another Llanowar Elf. Scorcher's bad. No more lands. This matchup, like we're a slower deck. So we can go Risen Reef next turn, and then just drop another duel. I want to try to get a couple. Do they sack and kill? Just gonna go Risen Reef and play dual line to play tapped. Spark Double's not bad because you can copy Omnath with it. I just want a creature. Stop giving me lands, I want blockers. We put away one creature and then draw, and then we scryed away a land as well. Okay, so they put the shock back. So they can do that, and it gets in 3 points of extra damage. Oh, Scorcher is scary. We are probably dead. No blocks. Okay, so how do I want to navigate this turn? So I can do you. Then I can Neoform you for Risen Reef, just try to get ahead on mana. I can get an Omnath, shoot. So I could play Omnath, get another Omnath, shoot. Or actually I could do... No, I'm short of mana if I do that. I need blockers. So just do you. But Risen Reef doesn't really block well. So I have 5 mana. It's just awkward, we're behind. Okay, let's see what we get here. Just more lands, just all the lands in the world. I think we just gotta... Gonna get rid of that. Just because it can deal some damage. Discard. So here... I got a 1/1. So we can dodge another Cavalcade, we're probably okay. I can make a copy of Omnath and get rid of the Spitfire. Dead? I think we're dead. 4, we can block 2. Chandra's bad next turn. So that's 6 damage. So the thing is, Chandra can flash back the Lightning Strike anyways. So let's just see what we can do here. Gonna make this 2 toughness. Okay, so we got another blocker. So I can play you, or let's play you. Take action. Let's do it like that. Let's just make you bigger. I think we're 1 short anyways on the shock, doesn't really matter. Oh, we can Neo Brand to gain a life. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, that gains us a life. Neo Form, not Neo Brand. Neo Brand's the deck. So I'm gonna sack this. Healer the Glade gains us 3 life. So we got a Mirror March. So we're dead a couple ways. So this way we didn't get rid of the Spitfire. No attacks. I think we just need to be safe here. Like the deck's, like we've held out pretty well against a really aggressive deck. Chandra, if they see the line, they have flashback. If they flash back the Lightning Strike, we lose. If they make tokens, okay, they see it. Good game, my opponent. What is wrong with this game today? Okay, so 1 sec, folks. Arena does not want to cooperate today. Yeah, the Neoform's a really versatile card in the deck. It lets us get kind of those key creatures from time to time. We'll run one more just to see. Hopefully not against mono red. But usually if we can pivot to like turn 5 or 6, like next turn we would have probably just copied Omnath, killed the flyer. We'll keep this hand. So hopefully these draw us deeper into lands. Perfect. Probably gonna go Leafkin just to ramp up. And watch, now we're gonna play as mono red. Yep. I'm actually gonna go Trailblazer here. It presents a blocker, so they can't necessarily just attack in. I'm gonna have to finish this event with red-white life gain prison. Get a bunch of mana and then just bang fire them. Okay, so they shock. And they got a Scorcher. Let's set up our draw here. Okay, cool. Makes a token. I don't mind an Omnath here. Omnath can get rid of the Scorcher. Next turn, I can Steam Vents for a Risen Reef and a Creeping Trailblazer. Oh, they had the bottom of Frenzy, which is great for us. So we'll see what the opponent comes with. I'm snap blocking like Scorch Splitter for sure. That's aggressive. Come on, mouse. If they want to waste resources to blow up the Leafkin here, that's fine. The fact we got this off the board is very good. Yeah, so use a shock as well. And we just get lands off the top. And turn straight. Let's just go Omnath. Because then next turn I can double these. Drawing a lot of lands. So this has pseudo unblockable. They sack this anyways. So let's get rid of the thing that will die. This should hopefully dig us deeper. We want to refill our hand a bit too. Our life total's not too bad. Yeah, so again, if they have a shock, if they're spending their burn spells, get the shock.
I need more control.
Nice play.
Just let me burn.
Chandra will be a bit of a problem.
Tell me if you've seen this one before.
It's a lot of lands. So let's go Forest here. Llanowar. Okay, so Neoform in a pinch can get us like another Risen Reef. We just need to survive like 2 more turns. Crank up. We need to kill that. So I'm gonna have to Neoform. We need to kill this. We don't beat that card. Jeez. Okay, Okay, so let's... Neoform here. Two elementals kills that. Go Llanowar Elf. Steam Vents. Just make that bigger. Another land. No attacks. So we have successfully... Oh, we shuffled our library. Drawn most of the lands in our deck. Hey, we have a Mirror March and 5 lands. Just where you want to be. This can get pretty big if we keep pumping mana into it. I think I want to keep the Omnath going. A 6, 7. If we draw a 2-drop. Actually, Omnath can start drawing us cards. Let's just do it like this. I think keeping this alive. If only this could copy lands. Okay, well they popped their Chandra.
Yeah, I like to think on my feet.
I think that's a pretty good trade for us. Oh, they have another one?
Anyone need a match? No. Too bad.
Go light up the stage.
Remember this one?
Got another light up the stage. That should theoretically draw them into some goodies. Okay, so there's a Spitfire. Ooh. Okay. We need to survive one turn. Let's just drop the Stomping Grounds down. Gaining a life's not bad here. No attacks. So next turn we can Spark Double, copying the Omnath, making multiples. We might be able to combo kill our opponent next turn. Experimental Frenzy going to the bottom of the library is also great for us. Double Spitfire draw.
Say hi to my fiery friends.
So block there. Okay, so we got Shock. We can deal with Chandra. Got Llanowar Elf. RNG. Let's go. What we got? Okay, so done. So kill Chandra.
Time to sleep for a week.
How many we got? Kill one of the Spitfires. Okay, so not crazy. Tell me I get like a ton of elves. I get a ton of elves. Alright, so not super. Yeah, the coin flip's really cool. I love, like, this deck's just super fun to play. I gotta get rid of the Spitfire here. I'll post in the video description the full deck list with the full 75. Yeah, we got him. So you can see basically with Omnaths, and we get to keep them because they're Spark Double copy, so then you just keep stacking Omnaths as they come into play. Ton of XP, ton of stuff. We'll run one more. See how we do. Like, I think the only deck I've had more fun with just randomness with was the Golos Sunbird's Invocation Omniscience deck that you basically try to play cards, cycle for free, and win through Jace drawing your deck. So not as much ramp on this, but not a bad start regardless. gains back our life. Probably go Steam Vents into Trailblazer. Would you look at that? Another mono red deck. I think we're just gonna go Temple here and set up the Llanowar Elf. I want a Neo form. Probably keep the land. The lands will help us kind of dig deeper. There is Quantum Science, there's like Deckmaster, stuff like that. I haven't set up the stream as much yet. We'll attack for one. Once I come for like a more standard stream in the fall with like a set schedule, I'll update it to have like Stream Decker or something like that. But for all my deck lists, if you ever want to see, I post them all with the video description on YouTube, right underneath. And then all my deck lists, anything I play is on my Aether Hub account, so you can see all those deck lists there. So I tie all the videos to a deck list and have it. So this is kind of a problem. Scorching Splitter would have been pretty good. Just poke for one. They're unlikely to block here. So they blow up our Llanowar Elf with the block sack, but getting that off the board. Oh, this is just traditional mono red. Like a Wizard's Lightning. I don't think Spark Double is where we need to be right now. Just fast turn. If we could get to the Mirror March and get a Spark Double copying Healer Glade, would be pretty solid. Okay, so they have Chain Whirler. That's pretty bad. So no blocks here. Hopefully they don't have... Okay, so we have Shock, which I don't mind. So we have Healer, Glade, Healer. Yeah, I think we just need to try to survive. So here, they'll probably pop this. In response to them popping it, I'll shock it. If we can set up the Mirror March turn followed by the Healer turn, we might be okay. Okay, so they Lightning Strike. We might not have the luxury. 7, 10 damage. Yeah, we're gonna have to just gain life this turn. We might still just be dead. They can easily have 2 burn spells. Yeah, they go face. Weird, they didn't let me respond to the trigger. Yeah, the client's lagging. Yeah, they build another Lightning Strike. We dead. Yeah, so you see the logo's missing up here? Client's had its day. So I'm gonna wrap it up now, since it was 3 times it kind of killed us, but that was the deck. I think the blue-white was actually very strong in this particular meta. Almost got all our wins there. Cavalcade has its strength. If you're playing this format, have something to deal with zombie tokens and something for life gain. Otherwise, not too bad. Interesting, but I like the more deck restriction ones. Thanks for all those who tuned in. I'll have this up on YouTube if you missed any part later today. And as always, if you miss any of my content, all my replays are up on the YouTube channel. If you can, hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way to helping out. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.